You are now listening to the Purpose Pod, hosted by Alan Levi Simmons. This podcast is a platform to give listeners an inside perspective on purpose, business, and life experiences. If you're interested in finding purpose or discovering paths that could lead you into your purposeful life, this is the podcast for you. Thank you for tuning in. It's time for the Purpose Pod.
Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages across the world, across the galaxy. What's up, all my beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the Purpose Pod, purposely driving you forward with power and faith. I'm your host, your boy, Alan Levi Simmons. That's right, Mr. Never Stop, Never Quit, Repeat himself. I'm sorry. I formed my own fraternity with myself, the Never Stop, Never Quit, Repeat Brothers Incorporated. But speaking of brotherhood, sisterhood, and all that hoodish stuff, thank you, DJ Davi, for the 10-minute mix. Mako Girls, thank you so much for your music. Leverage is out now across all major platforms. Check out Mako Girls and check out Go DJ Davi on Instagram. Make sure you hit that follow button on Instagram and subscribe to the Purpose Pod. Now, the moment that you all have been waiting for. Standing 6'9". I'm just playing. Talacia, like, I'm not even 6 foot. No, I'm just playing. But let me tell you guys, like, I'll say it when she gets on here, but let's welcome Marine Corps veteran, real estate broker, North Carolina real estate broker, Talacia Cain.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh my God, Talacia!
Thank you. Thank
Sorry,
you for having
Talacia.
me, Alan.
Appreciate it, Talacia. I'm just so glad to have you on here. Like, look at life. That's what I was about to do. I was about to jump into it before I brought you on here. I had to bring you on first, but
okay.
let's just take a moment, Talacia, and let's look at life right here. Okay, so. You know, I am moving to Charlotte, you know, and you're at UNC Charlotte. I'm trying to go to school. I'm confused and lost like a little boy at a playground or at a fair, you know, and there you are ready to guide me through my process and also help me get a job. But we're going to talk about that. You know, I just wanted to say, Talacia, I am so glad that we have come full circle to where you have helped me out. And now I am here bringing you on my platform to just showcase you, your life, your story, your journey, and just you as a person. So I'm really glad that you are here on the Purpose Pod.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that acknowledgement, and I'm grateful. So thank you.
There go Tori, our old co-worker right there. Tori, what it do?
Hey,
girl?
Tori.
What up, Tori? Yeah, it's the inspiration for me. That's right. Come on. We already getting started. Talacia, this is how we do it. So, Talacia, first and foremost, how have you been over the past year and a half since the pandemic?
It's been a challenge for the most part, but you know, I'm the kind of person you kind of just. From the Marines, we just kind of have to adapt and overcome. Mm-hmm. You know, it was a challenge for everybody because it was unexpected, and this was an experience that was new to everyone. Yeah, so we had to kind of relearn ourselves and figure out new systems and processes and maintain relationships that normally would, you know. So it's been difficult, but during that time, I tried to maximize that. Yeah. Instead of using it as an opportunity to be defeated, I reversed the narrative.
Come on.
And so I decided to pursue my real estate career. So I went and got my license during the pandemic. So, yeah.
Come on. If we're going to talk about purpose, can somebody grab the neighbor, say, neighbor.
Okay, neighbor.
Hey, you got to walk in it. Talacia, that's dope. Like, that's what I love to hear. You know, back to what Tori was saying, it's the inspiration for me. You know, like you're inspiring people with your story. And that's just awesome that you took that pandemic. You took something that could have been it was a bad thing that we all had to go through. People went through, people lost people, but you found yourself within the pandemic and you found something that you wanted to be passionate about. And now look at you. Look at you. You got your brokerage license, right? So you're good to go in North Carolina, right?
Yeah. Yes. I've been practicing since October of last year.
Come on.
Yeah.
October of last year.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's amazing, Talacia, because a lot of people didn't understand that pivot, that moment where they could have decided, you know what, even though this year is different, even though this year is causing me to change, I'm going to make sure that it's causing me to change for the good. And that's what you did. Like that's
Absolutely.
legit.
Absolutely. I had to figure out how to be an example. Not only for myself so that I could defeat the odds, but of course I have children who are watching. And not to mention along the way, I've had adults who say, you've inspired me or you motivate me. And that wasn't my intention. My intent was just to maintain a positive mindset, and come out of it with a win. And I was determined, even though it wasn't easy, it was not easy. I started the journey in April and it took me about 5 attempts before I passed the exam. And each time I would come home from taking this PSI exam, mind you, it's $160 a pop.
Ooh,
but I was determined. I said, I'm not going to quit. I have to beat this. It was a challenge for me.
Yeah.
So when I finally passed, I was just at ease. I was like, wow, I finally did it.
Yeah.
So now it's time to hit the road.
Yeah.
Time to take off.
Yeah. I'm glad you're being vulnerable and transparent here today.
Absolutely. I
on
am.
the Purpose Pod. I mean, that's what it takes, on this journey of purpose, to be vulnerable and transparent. And the fact that you said that you had to take it 5 times, pretty much like, hey, look, the first time, like I am who I am today, but the journey, I had to double up. I had to go a couple of times. I had to spend money to get to where I want to be. What word would you want to share with people out there who are in the in-between? They're in between trying to figure it out and they're in between figuring it out. And there's failure in between all of that. What do you want to say to those people who are still trying to move forward in their purpose?
Well, I guess for starters, I would say through failure comes success. And unless you're willing to take that step or take that leap of faith in order to get where it is that you're trying to go, only you will be in your way. I can also say that you're going to have to dig deep, utilize and stand on your village to support you. Even sometimes when you feel like you're in a corner by yourself, intestinal fortitude is huge. And that just means sometimes you got to look within and kind of hope and pray and, say that even though I got knocked down this time, I'm going to get back up. You know what I'm saying? Even though I may have to take a knee sometimes because I'm tired or, I don't think mentally I can take this. But to be honest, the body is going to do what the mind tells it to do.
Come on, devil dog.
That's what I would say. I would say, don't stop. And that kind of supports that never stop, never quit.
Come on.
That you tend to encourage and push all the time. So they really align with each other. Everything gonna be easy. And the reality is when things are easy, you don't necessarily feel like you don't necessarily own it or you're not, it's a sense of pride that comes when you say, I really got down in the dirt and I worked hard for this.
Come on.
So what I can say is maintain your poise.
I love
Pray.
that. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Talacia, look. She over here spitting gems, acting like it was just easy. It was just like that was a little something, y'all. That was a little something. That's deep right there, Talacia, because a lot of people aren't able to access that and they don't know how to find it. So with you giving them that, hopefully that inspires them to dig within, to dig deep, to get dirty. Sometimes you got to go through the pain and you got to get dirty. You have to be stretched, and that's big. And I'm pretty sure that stretch was you studying for that, trying to figure out where you went wrong and recalculating, going back and over and over and over again. Like some people would have given up on the 3rd attempt, Talacia, but you continued on 2 more times and you got what you were looking for. So that's right. That right there is the American dream, because the country we both went and served, we fought and put our foot on the yellow footprints in the Marine Corps. Yeah. We went there and we signed up for that for the sake of other people going out here in the world and pursuing their dreams, their pursuit of happiness. And in that pursuit is failure at times. Absolutely. So, and failure doesn't define you. I say failure is just something you go through, but it doesn't define you. Right. Mm-hmm. Come on. I Tori agree. Says self-made. That's right.
Indeed.
Self-made. That's awesome. And I mean, like that really touches me. And as an entrepreneur and as someone who really, I feel like I had to get in the dirt myself and like get dirty. I dropped out of college and there you were at UNC Charlotte at my second, maybe like my fourth or fifth attempt, realistically at college, so I understand what you're talking about there. So you're talking about like doing this as a mother as well. So you're not just a veteran, you're not just a real estate broker, you are a mother as well. So how have you been, I guess, carrying the mantle of motherhood while pursuing your purpose?
Okay.
I didn't ask you that on the paper. I'm sorry. That was a good question though.
Okay. So that's okay. So obviously being a mother is extremely important to me. And I've been a mother for 18 years now. My oldest will be 18. So the majority of my career in the Marine Corps, I was a mother. And we know that that's a very strenuous and challenging occupation. Mm-hmm. So it's not like I just started having to balance motherhood and that work-life balance. So this just changed the dynamic a little bit, but I've already been conditioned. And the good thing now is that I'm okay with supporting or allowing other people to support me in my journey, because while I was active duty or in my younger days, I was okay with carrying the weight or the load all by myself because I felt like I could do it because of those yellow footprints or just being in that organization. It's like you have no choice but to adapt and overcome. Right. So what is it that I'm going to do? So the reality is I still got kids who have lives, who need their mothers. And then at the same time, so I'm going to be here. That's never going to be an option. And then secondly, I need to be able to support my own dream and live that. My kids are super supportive. My family here is super supportive. And I'm a part of a blended family, which has made, that's been super helpful too, because I do have an additional support system to help me if I don't have to do everything by myself. So it's a relief. Yeah. If that answers your question.
No, that does, and blended families work, blended families work. You got to put in work for your relationships, your families, and it will pay off, and I love the fact that you're talking about that support. Support is really big as a veteran, as a military member, as a person, as an individual, having support in your life is very important. So how do you feel that the military community has played a part in the support process of your journey in the military and after the military?
Okay, well, obviously when you are active duty or you're in the military and we're at these duty stations far off by ourselves, we form this village and we have to rely on each other, whether that be through deployments, through training evolutions, through day to day. So even though we're all far away or wherever we may be, we rely on each other, that sense of that brotherhood, that sisterhood, that family, that sense of community. What was the second part of that question? Because I want to make sure that
the support that you received while you were in service, and I guess it was a long question because if it's while you were in and then afterwards, but pretty much, well, I want to mainly know afterwards, let's say for the veterans that are transitioning, since we're talking about transitioning from the military into college.
I would say making sure that you utilize the resources that are available to you, making sure that you align yourself with like-minded people, understanding that our mental health is extremely important. Adjusting and transitioning from the military is no easy task. Yeah. And the reality is, a lot of people, when they get out, they've had either successful careers and they get out and they feel displaced and they need a community where they feel comfortable, or they feel as if they don't necessarily fit in, because for years we have been accustomed to a certain way of living. And now here we are able to do whatever it is that we want. And you lose this sense of structure. And sometimes that's hard to transition. It's very challenging for many, yeah. And some so challenging that they decide to end their own lives. And we just recently had a student at UNC Charlotte commit suicide. And I bring that up is because mental health is so extremely important, and that village is so extremely important, and then we have to literally be there for each other, especially after we decide to get out of the military, because this sense of community that we're so used to having, we lose that. Right. And so it's important to find people who are like yourself. If that means join veteran service organizations, get back in school. Veterans Bridge Home, for example, is a good local resource. There are a number of resources that are available. So I'm going to just say, let's try to network. Yeah. Not for the sake of business, but for the sake of life. Yeah,
that's good. And I'm a networker. I love networking. And I mean, even when I was going through like my PTSD, I feel as though I was still able to keep that part of me, like that networking side. But you spoke on some real stuff, and definitely rest in power and peace to the young man who committed suicide at UNC Charlotte. I'm not at UNC Charlotte, but he was a student at UNC. Yeah. Charlotte. So and that's real, Talacia. A lot of people over the last year and a half, maybe have probably committed suicide, especially like losing family members out of nowhere, losing parents, losing sons, daughters, and everything. So it's really sad to see that, the mental health isn't being seen as important in a lot of areas. But now I think a lot of people are talking about it, but it's more fashionable than like, okay, actually I got a therapist. I have a coach, I got a mentor. People aren't really setting themselves up like that, I don't think. But I don't know a lot of people with psychologists and therapists because people think they're fine. So I agree with Talacia. If you're getting out of the military, definitely have that support system of other veterans. Go to school. Hey, look, if you don't know what you want to do with your life, go to school. Take that GI Bill. Come on.
Yes.
Take that GI Bill.
And don't stop. Quit. Don't quit.
Don't quit.
So yeah,
you have to, don't quit, man. Cause it's literally like when I was at ODU, Old Dominion University in Virginia, Talacia, I was that fresh out of the military thing. And I had just got back from Afghanistan. So I was just kind of like off a little bit, and I don't think I had the right people in school around me that were leading me in the right direction. I was turning up a lot. So, I was allowing that alcohol to speak to me. I was allowing that alcohol to speak to me. But coming to UNC Charlotte, I felt this different vibe, especially with the veteran service office. Like there was a whole different vibe there because now I have a place to go where I know people are just like me. People are all screwed up like me, right? So can you tell them just briefly, and then we're going to go into talking about transitioning, but could you tell them about UNC Charlotte's Veteran Service Office and what was that experience like for you? And I could share a little bit if you want, but I want you to go ahead and share that as a veteran.
Okay, so I'd say, the experience for me is after I got out of the military, I used my Chapter 31 benefit, which is vocational rehabilitation, to get to pursue my undergraduate degree. I decided to go to UNC Charlotte because it was back home. And I said, once I got out, I was going to come back home so that I was able to spend some more time with family, build some of those relationships that I had lost over the course of my career or that weren't as strong. I became a work study student. I started working out at the VSO. And then once I graduated in May, I kind of transitioned into a full-time position in the VSO. And what I love most about that is that I was still surrounded by the veteran community. It was the closest thing to being the military on this side. Right. There were a lot of great people I've met along the way. a lot of people that I feel as if I've mentored since I was the supervisor over the work studies for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Lots of resources I like to share. I built a lot of great relationships. And I thought that was very meaningful for me because that assisted me in my transition.
Yeah.
Now, sadly, to report, my last day is in a few weeks. I'll be actually leaving UNC Charlotte to pursue my real estate career full time. But that's okay.
That's you scaling up. You're scaling up.
Yeah. I can still build those relationships. I still have that relationship, but it's time for me to move on and pursue what's important to me.
Yeah. And I know, and I saw Dean Davis. She was commenting on LinkedIn, excited. She's like, my 2 favorite people, from UNC Charlotte. And yeah. So Christine Davis, she was shouting us out and stuff. But and like people, I know for a person that went to school before I started working as a work study there. I went through that transition process and I met you and you were so spot on. I knew you were a Marine. I was like, all right, she's a Marine for sure. One, she's about her business, like she's going to get you straight. You better get that stuff situated. Don't be emailing her if you didn't do what you were supposed to do. But I love the fact that Talacia is a Marine. And that really made us connect even more. Like that we had a little brother right there, because we understood. It's something about going to Paris Island. It's something about, maybe the Hollywood Marines are a different story, but it's something about Paris Island, South Carolina, that
changes you.
It changes you. What was it like? And I'll go back to school in a little bit. I just got to go to Paris Island for a second real quick. Cause I know, Talacia, I had the worst time of my life there. I'm not going to sit here and act like boot camp was a miracle. It was depressing. But because I was fighting against the current, I was not sounding off. I did not know anything about the military. So I was just like this knucklehead from the street that they were trying to yell at and tell what to do. What was that experience like for you?
It was a culture shock. It was a lot because it was something that I wasn't used to. It was completely foreign. I'm a Charlotte native, so I grew up right here in Charlotte, and going through high school, I didn't necessarily have a plan after high school, nor did I have the guidance to get me where I needed to go while I was going through high school. So I happened to learn about the Marine Corps through my best friend. She was going, and I thought she was crazy for going. I was like, girl, why are you doing that? And then after graduation, and I took 6 months and things weren't going so great here in Charlotte. I didn't have a plan. I was trying to work retail jobs. I had started getting in some trouble. And I immediately had to say, this has got to stop. I'm going to make a choice and I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So I signed up for the Marines and I left. In like 3 weeks, I was gone. I was like, I got to go. Okay. Deuces. Queen City. I love you, but I gotta go because I wasn't going to allow myself to fail that early in my life. So I got to Paris Island. Obviously, that's been decades ago. There was not much pleasant about it. I can't think of nothing good other than when I earned my EGA, and that was at the end.
Come on. And I'm glad you brought that up. Like you're taking me on this journey with you. I'm glad you brought that up because for those who don't know, the Eagle Globe and Anchor is what you receive after you complete the Crucible, right? And the Crucible is just this crazy training that you should never ever sign up for the military to do. Just go in the Air Force. I'm just playing, but I'm just joking. I'm joking. Nothing against the Air Force, of course. I'm just playing, but yeah. So like when I got my Eagle Globe and Anchor, like I cried. Did you cry?
Of course.
Okay, cool. I was making sure it was one of the same.
Of course.
I didn't know if you didn't cry, I was going to just have to change my story.
No. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I felt so like I was a part of football teams, track teams, basketball teams, wrestling teams, all that stuff, right? But the moment that, I became a Marine, my whole life, I felt like on the inside changed. Like I didn't care what anybody said to me. I was hot, like I'm one of these, like a Marine, I think that was the most amazing feeling. I felt so accomplished, even though I went straight out of high school in the military and my situation was a little different, but let's just say trouble was calling me. But
Yeah.
So usually you got a lot of people running from trouble going in the Marines. But yeah, so were you the first in your family to have served?
I was.
Awesome.
I was. Well, no, I take that back. My grandfather served in the Army. But yeah, yep.
Okay.
I didn't know that until I was an adult.
Yeah. Wow. Did that like make you feel more connected to him? Like the fact that your grandfather was a service member?
Yeah, but we were always very close anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. I'm definitely Michelle says, so proud of you, Talacia. Michelle Henderson. What up, Michelle? Make sure you hit that subscribe button, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
So all right, so let's get this show on the road some more. So Talacia, we're talking about education, transitioning from the military into civilian life and into school. And you mentioned earlier like about mental health, you know, throughout this transition. And I think it's very important for us all to just remind ourselves and to remind other people that our mental health is number one. Like you can have the best body in the world and losing your mind, and it's not going to do you any good. So please I wish I had somebody put up the suicide hotline. I should have had that ready. Just in case, you know, if you're ever feeling down and you don't want to live no more, make sure you reach out to somebody, AT&T style. So let's move on here because I don't want to make Talacia sad or anything. I want her to be all joyful. So we'll talk about mental health and PTSD and all that sad stuff on another day. Okay, guys. Okay. We're going to just talk about the transition. So transitioning, I did not know anything about college. Like I knew nothing. I knew nothing about like, okay, I didn't know nothing. So like coming out of the military, I didn't, no one prepared me. So what do you wish you had when getting out? Like, what do you wish they had in place for you when you got out, transitioning into college?
Well, I think I wish we had more representation from civilian organizations and representation, because we have our taps and separations program set up, but no one can really show us how to get out of the military unless they've been out before.
Right.
So even those who are serving with us, they haven't been through the experience. So you can't necessarily teach me what I need to know because you don't know. So it would have been nice to have someone who comes from a college or from the VA or from companies who are looking to hire vets, things like that, or just providing us education and resources, someone to set us up with benefits, because you know, if you don't retire, you're losing your life insurance, your health insurance, your dental insurance, your housing allowance. Show people how to truly transition without falling, because here we are, we've dedicated, whether that be 4 years or 30 years to an institution, and when it's over, it's just over, and it shouldn't be like that. You don't close the door on people who have dedicated their lives to you and are willing to sacrifice their lives for an institution or for the country or for the flag or whatever your personal reason was. But what we as a society need to do is figure out how to allow service members to truly transition without failure.
I love that. Transition. You better start a program, transition without failure. Let me stop. I'm always trying to give people homework, but I love what you're saying, Talacia. You should definitely go into the whole veteran service representative stuff. Like you should definitely just go in there and do that. You know, wherever the guy leads you. If y'all agree, just hit her up and tell her she should do it.
Okay.
Because that is definitely needed. You know, that representation is definitely needed. Because like you said, I literally got out and I was like, okay, I'm going to college. And I thought like just saying I'm going to college and having applied to colleges, like I knew nothing about voc rehab. I found out about voc rehab, Talacia, after 3.5 years of using my GI Bill, my post 9/11, and my GI Bill was almost out. You know, I had used it up, took classes, took different programs that I thought I wanted to do, dropped out of college, and now I only had like a certain amount of what's it called, resource left from my voc rehab. And someone at the veteran service lounge, someone said, hey, yeah, I'm using voc rehab. I was like, what is voc rehab? You know, and he explained it to me. So that's why having a community is important, number one.
Absolutely.
But just learning about Voc Rehab, it was a blessing for me. Parking pass, computer, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a great benefit for those who want to pursue, even not just going to a 4-year degree. You can, it's an employment-based program that's here to assist veterans if they want to take up a trade, if they want to pursue their master's degree. It just truly depends on the service-connected disability.
And I think it's what, a 10% disability rating or so, maybe 10 to 30%, I want to say, that you need, right, to qualify for Voc Rehab.
I thought it used to be 30, but I don't want to say. Tori, please chime in. Let us know.
Yeah, Tori, could you please go to your books and let us know, is it 10% or 30%? I thought it was 10 now. I think 30 was what it used to be.
Yeah.
But Tori, just let us know whenever you get a chance. So you just need to be service disconnected and you will have access to Voc Rehab, which is a really great source to have if you still have time on your post 9/11 GI Bill. You can still get. So for me, when I was going through recently at UNC Charlotte, I was getting my BAH. So that's the base housing allowance, right? I was getting that for 3 to 4 months after I graduated from UNC Charlotte. Talacia, let me talk about a blessing. I was still getting my BAH after I graduated. I needed that, so because the resources are short, like you said earlier, like we lose our benefits, we're losing everything if we didn't medically retire, we didn't retire, so getting out after 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, whatever, you go in pretty much dry, with the money you saved, if you save, we all know military is, people think we get paid in the military. People think we balling out there.
Right. And we're not.
So
we're on a budget.
For all you ladies out there and men out there trying to scout a military person, back up on this one.
Not back up.
Not back up. Just, I guess, come forth.
That's funny.
But so I definitely believe that every veteran should be connected with someone from an actual school, veteran service representatives who were in the military, people who are very, I guess, in the know of the benefits and stuff like that. You have to get connected. So if you're not connected, you're going to school somewhere in Delaware, Colorado, San Francisco, wherever you are in the world, please make sure you get connected with a representative. Okay.
And every county has a veteran service office.
Yeah.
So reach out to the local ones. It's just fine.
Yeah. And I mean, the local ones do something like, so I think a lot of veterans just do nothing, we could be very awesome individuals, but then there could be some times where, we expect for things to already be in place, like the military, like you were saying earlier, like in the military, we had this routine, at 0 dark 30 in the morning, you're PTing, and then, you go to your shop, you do whatever you got to do throughout the day. You had tasks, you had to get your locker straight, your room straight, you had to clean. There was so much order in the military. And then when you get out, you have all this freedom, and now you have to figure out who you are. Mm-hmm. What was your process in figuring out who Talacia was after she got out of active duty?
Well, to be honest, I'm still on that journey to really truly learning who the new Talacia is. Yeah. I'd say the first time I really had the time to think about it was over the pandemic. That's because we were forced to sit still. And so, that idle time caused me to think and contemplate and ponder about what I was, who I was, where I was going, my family dynamic, things like that. But that's an ongoing process. I have no problem seeking mental health. I don't mind a therapist or relying on my group of friends if I'm struggling or may need some additional ideas or some additional input or things like that. So sometimes it takes a while before before you truly figure out who you are. But I will say, I feel like now for the first time in my life, I'm where I'm supposed to be. And that's post-military, that's post-college. And I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I did just have a birthday. Okay.
Come on. Happy birthday.
I'm just now settling into who I am.
Wow. And that's a beautiful process, Talacia, because there's no, I mean, the end is just when it's completely the end. Like when there's no more life in our body, no more air in our lungs. That's the end. That's when the transitioning stops. That's when the beautification stops, right? But like it's okay to not know, like, man, who am I? Right. It's okay to not know, but it's okay not to wonder. It's okay not to, I mean, it's not okay not to wonder or ponder about who you are. If you just sit there and say, I don't know who I am, blah, and I'm just done. And that's when you start falling into the depression. You start looking at everybody's life, right? So I love what you did there. You know, you're still moving in purpose while you're still figuring it out, you know, while you're still figuring out who's this woman standing here today. And I mean, I feel like you are everything that you've been through and everything that you are going to be. Like it's all, you know, it's a whole process. When we talk about purpose, it's never like, oh, what's your final destination? It's what are you doing in this season of your life and who are you serving? So you're serving as a real estate broker. Could I say a real estate broker agent, or what's
both? They're interchangeable in North Carolina. Yes.
Okay. I don't want to meet the Talacia that got in some trouble before she joined the military. I don't want you to come sock me. Marine Corps. I'm just playing. So, but yeah. So, I'm sorry. I just, you know, I gotta say it. So, like in the Marine Corps, you remember in boot camp they had you do like the Marine Corps, the fighting and stuff. Yeah, that was really lame. I don't know why they let us do that.
Or why you just brought it up.
Because I was talking about you giving me hands, you know, for saying broker or agent, you know, I just had to bring that up. So anyway, so Talacia, so real estate agent in Charlotte, North Carolina, and just all of North Carolina, right? Like you got Charlotte, Chapel Hill, Raleigh. Could you do Raleigh? Could you do Durham?
I could do anywhere in North Carolina in terms of me representing the sellers and the buyers. However, if there are people who are outside of the state, then I can always refer them to a local agent. You know, we have nationwide networks and things like that. So yeah. Yeah.
So within within the company that you are in, you're all connected pretty much in your territory. You're mainly in Charlotte, North Carolina, right?
Yes. Okay. That's where I started.
Yeah. So this housing market though, people don't know whether to buy or cry. What do we do in this season, Talacia? Like people, you know, what are people to do? Like rent's crazy. Rent is crazy out the mud. And you know, so what do we do?
Well, obviously, I'm an advocate for real estate. I think real estate is an entryway into wealth. I think that it's very important that we as citizens invest in real estate if you can. If not, figure out how we can get on the path to investing in real estate. Right now, the market is crazy. It's a seller's market. If you hear everybody say that, that's because the inventory is extremely low. So sellers are in a position of superiority because they have the advantage. They have the commodity. However, it's going to be some crying, but we still have buyers who still need a place to stay. There's lots of new construction coming up to kind of satisfy those needs as they come. And it's just kind of like you just kind of got to remain steadfast because it's going to be a journey. But I tell my clients, I just need you to trust the process. I know it's so easy to get discouraged because, you know, we've submitted several offers or the inventory that is within your range or your scope is not necessarily what you think you would want because of the current circumstance. But what you have to do is just kind of stay determined. Focus on what the end goal is. And if your end goal is to purchase a home for myself, for my family, or whatever your why is, don't lose sight of that.
Yeah.
Understand that it's just a process and we'll get through it together, you know? So I know it's hard. It's hard for us as the brokers and it's hard for the sellers and it's hard for the buyers because the reality is the sellers got to have a place to stay too.
You're right. So I think what should people do? Like, is it a year-long process? Like, well, I know the process could take a long time, like based on closing the house, but how far in advance? And we're talking real estate now. We're not talking education, guys. All right. So we're talking real estate. I want to drop some gems in here for you guys. But when should people start planning that process for home buying?
Okay. So I'm dealing with, it really depends on if we're trying to do turnkey ready homes or if we're doing new construction. In new construction, we can start, 6 to 8 months out sometimes because it just depends on the weather, the lot, when it's going to break ground, things like that. Or if we're looking for turnkey ready homes, maybe 3-4 months out, maybe 6 months out, just depends on how flexible you are, or if you have a time frame. And the reason I say allow us to have that much time is because there is possibility of rejections or offers not being received, or the inventory being low, or you want to live in this particular neighborhood, but the housing is not available in this moment. Mm-hmm. So in order for us to be successful, I'd suggest us be flexible. But for those who have time restraints, we can work through those as well. I'd say maybe 2 months, and that's really pushing it, you know, but, and it's really pushing it, but if it has to be done, it can be done.
Yeah. I like that. See, you're just giving me some confidence right there. I hope that you guys are confident and trusting in Talacia. If you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, I know a lot of people in Charlotte. If y'all are in Charlotte, North Carolina, please make sure y'all hit up Talacia Cain. She will get you right. And as you see, she's human. She's human. She understands. She understands.
I do understand. I'm that relatable realtor, and I like to say that is that you can relate to me.
A relatable realtor.
I am.
I like that.
Good. I do too.
Is that on your sign right there? Relatable realtor?
It's not.
Dang.
It's not.
Come on, you gotta coin that. Somebody right now is a real estate agent watching this show, and they're gonna put that in their little tag, their tag. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
It's enough realtors for us to go around.
Yeah. That's dope. So are you afraid? Have you been nervous? Like, being new in this industry, are you nervous, or what has the feeling been like for you entering into the real estate?
Initially I would say maybe, I don't know if I was nervous, but I was in unfamiliar territory. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm the kind of individual, I truly want to be an expert. I want to know what I'm talking about. I want to feel confident when I'm educating, when I'm dealing with my clients, because that's just the kind of person that I am. So when I first started off, obviously I was at the bottom of the totem pole, because here I am, this brand new provisional broker, in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of this real estate flurry, should I say, and you just really got to figure out where you fit in. It's kind of like double dutch. I would say it's kind of
jump in, right?
just jump in it and don't stop.
Yeah.
And my intentions were to literally hit the ground running, because I was like, first of all, I've spent 5 exams worth. Right. So I need to earn my money back in some kind of way. And the only way to do that is to get me some clients. And I got my first referral in maybe January. And ever since then, things have just kind of been organically taking off. And I love it. I love being able to be a part of the story that people share, building these relationships. And I always like to say, when I deal with my clients, these are going to be lifelong relationships, because it's a really big purchase, and it's an emotional purchase for many, and so just being here to say that when I sit with a client and I hear that why, that touches my heart, because I'm like, okay. And then I get to get out here and I get to help them achieve that goal, whatever it is, and it's very important to me.
Yeah, and you're the right person for it. Everyone needs a marine real estate agent standing next to them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's good. And I think that for a lot of our service members, I have a lot of friends who I think that they have great people skills, they're personable, but they just don't know what to do, after getting out. Would you recommend, that other military members who are getting out, other veterans who are getting out, give it a shot? Or what kind of person do you think they need to be in order to be successful as a real estate agent?
One who's driven, great leadership skills, great communication skills, one who takes self-initiative, one who doesn't necessarily have to wait on somebody to give you step-by-step instructions, but instead you get out here and you figure out yourself so that you can, like that, know yourself and seek self-improvement. You just that, you educate yourself, and you kind of course, you align yourself with a great mentor, a great company, things like that. But yeah, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth a shot. You know, real estate may not be for everyone. And the thing is, once you get that license, you can kind of decide where within that real estate scope you want to be. If you don't want to be out here showing houses and things like that, there are plenty of other options. So I think it's worth it. Of course, you understand that it's your own business, so it's up to you to build that business. Even though you may affiliate with JPAR or with Keller Williams, or there are a million other companies out here, but the reality is you yourself are that brand.
Come on. So I hope that people do take a chance at college, take a chance at real estate, find something to do. Like, it may not be your forever job. It may not be your forever purpose.
Right.
But, occupy that time in the meantime.
In the meantime, maximize your time.
Come on, in the meantime, maximize your time. Look at this. We got motivational speaker Talacia Cain on the mic. That's what I'm talking about. In the meantime, right? So, because we can get complacent having that order and structure where people are telling you what to do all the time is great, for a certain amount of time. And then, but when you're out here, if you don't show up to school, if you don't show up to your class, that's on, it's on you. You fail. If you don't go look for jobs, you won't get a job. If you, so if you don't sharpen your resume, if you don't take different courses on how to speak at an interview, like, you will not succeed. You may get lucky, but you won't be successful unless you are paying attention and you are applying yourself, to your purpose. So I'm definitely taking notes here, Talacia, on how you went and handled that, despite opposition, despite setbacks, you're sitting here across from me. Well, on the screen, you're sitting here today, because you continue to persist. You never stop, you never quit, and you repeated that process. Hey, look, Talacia, that is the repeat process right there. When I say repeat, it's like, okay, over and over and over again until you get what it is that you've been looking for, so I get a little motivated. Amber could tell you, like, my wife, she'll be like, Alan, he'll be around the house marching sometimes, or I'll just be like, get it. I'll be in the mirror, sit down, get it. I'm like yelling at myself. Just, I don't know. It comes out of nowhere. Oh my
God. Poor Amber. Poor Amber.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
You gotta motivate yourself. Somebody got to do it, Alan.
Somebody got to do it. Got to do it. So I'm just glad she met this Alan and not the Alan from Uncle Sam's course. So he was a little off. That brother had a little loose screws up there. So I just really am glad that, number one, you decided to stick to your purpose, even with UNC Charlotte. Like, if you weren't there, I don't know what my journey would have been like. I could have easily given up working at work study, because there were days where I didn't feel like working. There were days when I didn't feel like continuing that journey in school. I wanted to drop out a couple of times. But it was the fact that I had, honestly, other people with you already graduating, you being on the finish line. I'm looking at you. You were standing on the yellow footprints at one point in time. And now you have stood on the other side of education and you have your degree. And that inspired me, right? So I'm really glad that you decided to move on, Talacia, because if you didn't, I don't know what I would have done. It would have been all your fault.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just
thank you. I'm grateful for that. I enjoy that position a lot.
Yeah. So we got a couple more questions here. Okay. Are you enjoying yourself? See, it's not that bad, Talacia.
I was a little nervous. But I am.
She over there, y'all. Check her armpit, y'all. She probably sweating. I'm just playing.
Okay.
I'm like that little brother. He get on my nerves, Alan. Why? I used to get on y'all nerves all the time. Tori, what up, girl? Tori, like this. He get on my nerves. I'm just playing. I love y'all, man. I love all my veteran service office people, man. I miss it. Like, I didn't want to graduate. Like, after I left, I was like, dang, like, you get close to people, you learn about people, you become one with people, and then it's like, all right, separation time.
Again. All over again.
Yeah.
But we have to learn that this is a process, and it's time to move on.
It's time to move on. I like that. Get ready to move on, people. Don't just settle in your. No, I was gonna say settle in your metal, but that just never mind. Just don't settle. Wherever you are, if your heart's desire is to move forward, if your heart's desire is to continue to do other things, or maybe you don't feel satisfied, don't settle. Like, continue to stretch your limbs, stretch out, reach different possibilities, connect with different people, and they may help you in your purpose. You may not need a house. You may need Talacia to give you information, or to give you inspiration, to give you hope. She could be the inspiration real estate agent. Right? You want to be the inspiration realtor?
I'll be that.
So, you can do it though. I believe you can do it, Talacia. You're very inspiring, and I think you don't see what other people see, Talacia. You may see just Talacia Cain, but we all see that devil dog, that young lady who went through boot camp, who survived it, and who served her time in the military. You did double, triple more than what I did, and I wish I could have did 12 years, man. And if I could have, I would have did 20, really.
Yeah.
So it's just inspiring to see, like, you still living a purposeful life, despite what things may look like, Talacia. Just know that you are living a purposeful life. So
good. I have people that depend on me.
That's right. Mama, when we gonna eat? So what tips can I give? What tips can you give that support work, personal life balance?
Coming up with a schedule, perhaps a routine. Making sure that you set boundaries for yourself. Yeah. Making sure that you take time for yourself, whether that be a mental health day. You need to go for a walk, to the gym, get down on your knees and pray. Whether that be utilizing your village for support when things get heavy, and making sure that we communicate effectively, so that when we do need help or don't need help, that, somebody, you can bounce your ideas off of someone, or, just understanding that you don't have to do this world alone. And it's not you against the world. I'm learning that as I develop and as I evolve. For the longest, that's what it felt like. It was just me and my kids against the world. And the reality is, the world is a big place, and I don't have to do that. And you don't either. So coming up with good systems and processes and putting those in place and trying to stick to those. And if the system doesn't work at first, not being afraid to adjust, adjusting until it works. Try it out. And if it doesn't work, try again.
Come on. Girl, you about to make me throw this cup across the room. If you don't stop playing around, I'm gonna throw this cup all the way to Charlotte. Wow. That's real messages right there. Like, I hope you guys are writing that down. If you didn't, go back and watch this afterwards with Talacia. Like, that's very inspiring, Talacia, and very powerful. Like, try. It's almost like if you stick to the basics, and you just keep trying to set yourself up with a great foundation. That's something I struggle with sometimes. Like, I do a lot of stuff, but I don't, like, when it comes to like being organized and all this other stuff, like, I'm like, I'll just get to that later. I'll organize later. But organization could save you some time and some stress, being stress-free.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a process. Again, I can't say it enough. Trust the process. It ain't gonna happen overnight. So just be patient with yourselves, but not too patient. Y'all got things to do.
Right. You got things to do. Don't take your time. People be like, man, I'm planning on doing this. I'm going to do this. Don't be, I'm going to just do it. Be a doer.
Yeah. Get to it. Watch out.
Get to it. So then we already talked about it. I want to ask you this question, and we're wrapping up. If audience, if you have any questions, please let us know. If not, make sure you follow Talacia on Instagram. Make sure you connect with her. Make sure you go ahead and reach out to her. If you're looking for a home in Charlotte, North Carolina, North Kakalaka. She can also connect you with other people. But if you're looking for a home in Charlotte, I know a lot of people are moving to Charlotte. Make sure you hit up Talacia Cain.
Give me a call. I'm
Talacia, the realtor. I'm only one. I'm sorry. Let me stop. I forget that I'm just doing my show. I'm over here trying to sing.
You're having fun. That's
I mean, I do what Amber says. I entertain myself. Like I literally will sit here. I can entertain myself sometimes. Okay, so just forgive me if I'm doing that. I'm like I have I'm the youngest, so like I had to entertain myself a lot of times in my life. But I wanted to ask you this one question, Talacia, and it's dealing with your legacy. You spoke about having children. You are now in the real estate field, and you are a veteran. So what do you want your legacy to be?
That I broke the generational curse, that I set myself apart, that I refused to be of the minority, or that I was happy, that I loved and I loved hard, whether that be my children, my village, my community, that I was a resource to others, that in my smile, you could see that I lived my life to its fullest. So I want to be able to leave behind what I've had to work so hard for.
Yeah.
I was very poor growing up, and it's not necessarily about money, but it's about the journey for me, so I don't know. That's a big question. But
I love that. I love that. That was a great answer, Talacia. That was really good. We're going to put this on the record right here. I love that. So that was amazing, and that was beautifully said. Marva, what's up? What's up? Entertaining and inspiring. Love it. We appreciate you. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Talacia Cain has blessed us on the Purpose Pod. If you have any questions for her, anything you want to say to Talacia, can I jump? Oh yeah, I think this is DJ Davi asking this question. Can I jump to ask? Come on, DJ Davi, you want to ask a question? Come on with it. Are you coming on, or what are you gonna do? Oh, there he goes. Come on, you can do it. What are you doing? Oh, I don't know what he's doing. Let me see. We're technical difficulties. But in the meantime, I wanted to say this. Talacia, while we're waiting on DJ Davi to get situated, I just I'm really grateful and thankful to have met you. I'm grateful and thankful that you stuck to your purpose and you continue to push forward. And you're being an amazing mom, amazing woman, amazing veteran. You're an amazing person. So just in all you're doing, like continue to do you, continue to be great.
Thank you.
DJ Davi. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Talacia. What you say?
I say I appreciate you too, Alan.
Oh, thank you, Talacia. Oh. Go ahead, DJ Davi. What up, bro?
Hi, how are you?
You got where your mic at? You got it covered?
No, I don't have it.
Oh, okay. Oh, I couldn't. Okay, we can hear you.
Cool. Talacia, I really enjoyed the interview. I always told Alan I was going to jump on one day. I'm just going to jump on. I'm trying to answer my questions in the chat.
Okay.
So I want to do some real estate questions.
Okay.
Because that's real estate. So are you more so on the selling side or the buyer side?
For me, I represent both sellers and buyers. I don't want to limit myself to one. So both.
Okay, so what are some tips for some first-time buyers?
First-time buyers, making sure that we protect our credit, building good credit, and respecting your credit. A lot of people don't understand the importance of credit until it's time to use it. And because we haven't been taught very early on financial literacy and things like that, when it's time to use our credit, we're not in a position because we either don't have it or it's bad credit because we've neglected it, or we thought that, oh, I have to pay that bill. That's okay. Put it on my credit. Well, guess what? One day you're going to need a car. You're going to want a job. You may want a house. So protecting and building credit, I would say, for one, is a great one. First-time home builders, whether or not, align yourself, get yourself with a good realtor, someone who is going to walk this journey with you, who has good resources, and they have a good community of people who can assist you and provide you resources and educate you as you go. For example, those are a couple.
I like that.
For a first-time homeowner, I know there's some programs out there, but it seems like it's for a certain range of price range of homes. It's like anything under like 120. There's first-time homeowners program, but it seems like anything over 120 is not much, and like really no houses that are under 120.
No, not really anymore. Not in this area. There are programs out there. It really just depends on where you are locally. Again, I say if you have great lenders, they have additional programs. For example, this morning I heard how Charlotte, they are helping first-time home buyers here locally in this area. I know lenders that they have credits and things like that would assist in closing costs, things like that. Just to name a few.
So let's jump to the other side, the buying side. Let's say you're selling your house. What are some tips for someone who's trying to sell their house?
Tips for one, find yourself a great realtor. For one, start to organize your home, declutter your home, get your home prepared to list so that we can expose it to the public in a way that's presentable and marketable that will make people want to purchase your home. Making sure that if there are repairs that need to be done, that you do your due diligence and making sure that you take care of those repairs before we list, or at least disclosing what needs to be fixed in the event that the buyer may want to fix that or can fix it or get it fixed later, for example. Those are some. Does that answer some of your question?
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. So it seems like right now, everything's pretty hot.
It's a hot market.
A lot of people from the north coming down, buying stuff, cash, things like. This is a different question.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, we can't hear you. That your mic is like your mic is.
Yeah, my mic is terrible.
Okay.
Sorry. I didn't bring my other mic. Other mic. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm just get real close to the screen. Y'all gonna have to see my never stop, never quit hat repeat. So this is on a different topic. I felt like, so I went to buy a house and it was good. I felt like everything was good until the seller saw me. And then I noticed there was a change in behavior. Is that still prevalent? Do you see that a lot going on in your career? Does that make sense?
Well, fair housing laws in North Carolina kind of prohibit any discrimination against individuals, buyers and sellers for national origin, race, sexual identity, gender, et cetera, et cetera. If you ever feel that you're in a situation where your fair housing has been compromised, then immediately kind of say something to that realtor or whoever's representing you so that they can kind of address it as such. But we can talk offline about that if you'd like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Well, I appreciate it. Just want to jump on, really enjoy this.
Well, good. I appreciate those questions. That's great. I appreciate that interaction.
Yeah, thank you, DJ, and that's DJ Davi, y'all. That's the one that gave us the 10-minute mix. DJ Davi on the ones and twos. Y'all know what to do out there in Miami. Well, he's in Carolina right now, I think, but he out there in Miami though. So we appreciate those were great. I need to have him on the show too, because I need to have him asking people questions because he's really good with the questions and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I came out of left field.
Yeah, he came out of left field. He was ready. That boy stayed ready. That boy stayed with questions. That boy stayed with him. Yeah. So anybody else out there with questions? No, you cannot get on like DJ Davi. He's a special person. So everybody like, I want to get on too. DJ Davi got on. But if not, Talacia, I have really enjoyed you on the Purpose Pod, and I look forward to seeing you grow in Charlotte. And I even look forward to seeing what you do as a speaker, a future author, working with veterans. Like I can't wait to see what happens in your journey and the lives that you impact. Wifey Amber says, great interview. Love you, Amber. Thank you, baby. So country. But yes, Talacia, I really do appreciate you. And if you need anything from the Purpose Pod family, definitely let us know. If you guys want to connect with Talacia, follow her on Instagram or connect with me and I will patch you to her. She is a dope individual. As you can see, she's real. She's authentic, so yeah, so I ain't gonna keep gassing her. I don't want to keep gassing her up unless she start paying me. I'm just playing.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to come on the Purpose Pod. It's been a pleasure meeting you from the very first time. I know that as a student, it was a challenge for you, but I'm proud of you. I'm proud of where you are, and I'm glad, and I can't wait to see where you go as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, Talacia.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Talacia Cain.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Talacia. We'll catch up with you.
All right. Thank you.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Talacia Cain, I really did enjoy Talacia on the Purpose Pod today. Like I said, make sure you follow her on Instagram right there. Talacia, the realtor. Follow her on Instagram, connect with her, tell her that you enjoy the interview. Connect with her as a friend, go get some coffee in Charlotte, whatever you want to do, connect with her. Marines, Navy, we accept Navy people as well. Don't worry. Army, even the Air Force, believe it or not, the Air Force, I always give the Air Force a hard time. I don't know why. I'm sorry, y'all, but I love y'all. So if you enjoyed the Purpose Pod, please make sure that you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Please, please, please. I've been doing this for a year now, since March of last year. Was it last year? Yeah, March, whenever the pandemic happened. So, yeah. So, and definitely check out the Mako Girls Leverage, and they're also on Instagram as well. They were our spotlight artist, DJ Davi, that was on the ones and twos. This has been another episode of the Purpose Pod. I am your host. Thank you, Petty Gigs, for sponsoring this episode of the Purpose Pod. We will do a giveaway. Stay on the lookout for the giveaway. It will be involving our recent guest, Talacia Cain. So if you can answer one of the questions that I will give to you during the giveaway, I will hook you up with something. So definitely check out Petty Gigs if you're looking for work, Petty Gigs. And like I said, I'm your host, Alan Levi Simmons. This is the Purpose Pod. Peace.